Hi, Young Titans. Mr. Sear here again, showing you the continuation of our fantasy landscape. So this is part 2. All right, so you can see I made some major changes. First of all, I was too dissatisfied with how not neatly I erased the record, so I got a new record and erased it more properly. I also decided that the Nacho Mountains didn't go with the rest of my theme, or the Dorito Mountains, so I got some 8-track tapes, which none of you even know what these things are because they're all from like the 80s. You might recognize this. This is a compact disc. We used these, prehistorically before MP3s to listen to music, and these are the ones that we were able to record on ourselves to make our own mixes. Or playlists, as you call them now. So basically, you can see that to create that cloud type shape, I just overlapped several of these, changing the sizes occasionally to create some variation, and that's how I made my clouds. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to complete your sky and also how to create your path, which is best usually started with something that's vaguely rectangular. Those are good things to make your path with. My guitars over here are representing trees, and I'm going to show you something fun and easy that you could do with your guitar, with your trees, so that you can create variation in them. I'm going to select one, and I'm able to select it because I have my auto select on my move tool checked in the options area, which means I can just click it instead of having to locate that exact guitar in what now is probably about 100 different layers. You can see I have a lot of layers here. Wow. So I'm just going to click it instead of searching for it to find that exact guitar. And then when I press Command U, this will come up, and I'm going to move it to the side so you can see what's happening. And I can change my color of my guitar. So finally something actually happened. I was getting worried there. So now you can see the colors changing. So if I wanted to, I can make all my trees different colors. They don't have to be green. But since it's kind of unclear that they are supposed to be trees, I'm going to make them different shades of green. However, I'm not going to make you watch me do every one. I'm not really going to play with the saturation that much because it usually distorts the image, but hue and the lighter darkness you could use if you want to change colors of things. You can play with that saturation, but if it becomes like so bright that you can't even tell what it is anymore, don't use it. I'm going to press OK to keep that change, and then I'm going to move my tree into place. You can also create variation by changing the size and flipping it over, both using transform, which I've already showed you, so I'm not going to repeat it. All right, now we're going to go down to our background. So I'm going to go move my layers all the way to the very back. You can see that I made that black background that I had before. I'm going to unlock this by double clicking it and calling this a layer. And I'm going to leave it black for now, but I'm going to go over to where my paint bucket is. Now, some of you might not have a paint bucket because you might not have changed it. You might instead have this gradient tool, which is actually what you need in this case, so that's a good thing. I'm going to go over to my colors, and I'm going to choose colors for my sky. I'm going to go with blues, but since this is clearly not Earth that we're creating here, you can really have whatever color sky you want. The best thing to do is to create a light color for your sky and a dark color, and have them in the two colors here. So I double click this one, change this to dark blue, then double click this one and change it to light blue. Now when I click my gradient tool, if I have this one selected, I can click and drag from my light source or my sun, and it didn't work. Let's try again. Oh. Okay, so I have to come up here to make sure I have the correct selection. So I want this light to dark thing. I don't want a rainbow background. That's a little bit too crazy. It's going to take away from the project. If I take the two colors that I have here and then click from the center of my light source and drag out, you'll create that fade. I actually like it better the other way. It looks like darkness is coming from the sun right now. So instead, I'm going to click starting from away from my light source and going towards it and letting go there. Yours can go either way. It depends on what order you have your colors in. So you might have to try that a couple times to get it right. Once you have that done, you can go to your sun's layer by clicking back to your move tool and clicking, in my case, the CD. From there, you can double click in your layers area, this blank blue area, which will open up your effects or your layer styles. We've used these in prior projects. You're going to go to outer glow and check it, and then click the word outer glow. This will allow you to create kind of a shine to your sun. So you can see hopefully you'll be able to see what's happening in just a second when I play with these two areas. Let's change our color. There you go. We're going to change, actually I like that color just fine. So you can see that now my sun is shining. I'm not going to make it that crazy though. I'm just going to, there you go, play with these two knobs until I get what I want. I could have made it go to any color I want by selecting from here, but I like it the way it is. So I'm going to cancel this and press OK here. And now my sun is even shining in my faded sky. All right, so my sky is complete. The last thing I wanted to show you, I selected this for my path. I want my path to recede in space, which means get smaller. I'm going to Command T it first so I could turn it the way that I want. And already it almost kind of looks like this is going back in space because it happens to be smaller here. Although it doesn't look much smaller, but if you start with a regular rectangle, I'm going to flip this to simulate what I mean. If I flip this, you can see that it looks like it's almost standing up in the air. It doesn't really look like it's going back through the grass. So I'm going to flip it back to the other way, and I'm going to show you how to make it look like it's receding in space more. We're going to double click it to set that transformation, and then I'm going to go up to my edit function up here and transform and perspective. Even if you start with a regular rectangle shape, you can make it, you could pinch this area, which makes it look a lot more like it's going through space now. It makes the project look a lot deeper. I'm going to double click it to OK that selection, that transformation. And then I'm going to go to Edit, and I'm going to go to Warp. So Transform, Warp. Now I can make it so my path is bendy if I want, and you can see that some of my path just got covered. So I'm going to play with this a little bit until I have a nice wavy path. And double click when you're happy. To press Return in this case to set my transformation. And I could press Command T to just turn it a little bit. Maybe I kind of like it the way it is actually. All right, I'm going to place it where I want it to go. I'm going to make sure that this layer is pretty much on top. I'm going to bring that to the top. All right, and that's how I make my wavy path that goes back in space. I showed you also how to change the color of some things if you want to do that to create variation in your piece, or if you want to match the color of something like trees. And I reminded you how to create clouds and how to create your sky. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. At this point, you have one thing left, and that's the text tool. Make sure that you're on a high layer or you won't be able to see the text that you make. So I'm going to just go to this high layer, click the text tool once. I don't have to drag out a box or anything, and type my name. By the way, you might have Myriad Pro up here. Don't use Myriad Pro. It's the most boring text that there is. You don't want your viewers to fall asleep. Also, it's totally not necessary that my name is this big. So I'm going to go up to my options area of my text tool, make sure that this is highlighted, and make it a little bit smaller. Again, if you forgot, this is the area that you would change your different text. So you can pick whatever text you want, something that looks cool, not Myriad Pro, which is a standard one that's just happens to be there. There you go. That one looks like a signature. A little bit bigger, though. I want people to be able to see it if they decide that they're curious to know who made this beautiful masterpiece when Mr. Sear hangs yours up in the hall. And I'm going to call this one done. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and you're done with this project. Have a great day. Oh, feel free to leave appropriate comments or like or dislike my videos. Any feedback will allow me to make you videos that you enjoy even more. Thanks again.